For us, it's always been about trying to make sure that we have really unique sounds on all the assets that go into the game. Some of those weapons you pick up and you fire them, and you're like, oh yeah, that's the fun stuff.
This is wonderful!
There's one that has a whip crack sound to it. Love the sound of that one.
I'm generally partial to launchers. Is it a weapon you're firing, or is it a weapon somebody else is firing? What type of environment are you in? How far away is the weapon being fired from you? So we work really carefully to try to make sure that the weapon is very visceral when it's in your hands, but it sounds appropriate when it's in somebody else's hands. We also did something really different in Destiny for PvP, where we actually changed the mix entirely in PvP versus single player, and we try to make sure that you hear your enemies more than you hear your own teammate stuff. So you want to be able to make sure that you're warned when your enemy's targeting you and firing in your direction.
What the music's role is to support the emotion of the story or the experience. And so we try not to tell the player what to feel, but we try to imply it in a way that enhances the experience without going over the top. And that's a really fine line that we try not to cross. And you want to be able to listen to it and enjoy it just for the music in some cases, but in the context of the game, it has to really support the gameplay or it's not doing its job.
There's a couple sounds and the picking up of the engrams and so on and so forth. Like once you hit on the right thing, those sounds go through as much iteration or more than almost any sounds in the game. They're very difficult to land on. And once you land on them, you're like, that's the one. You want people to be excited about the stuff they pick up, so we work really carefully to make sure that the treasure chests and the stuff that you pick up on the ground, that stuff is really compelling and exciting.
Zen meteor! I got Zen meteor! Down the horn! Yes!
If you want to make that sound that the players are going to latch onto every time they pick up something cool in the game, you want to make it so the players that immediately that they know exactly what that is and brings out, you know, their excitement level.
Oh, I got it! Got it!
There's definitely got to be a balance between that feel that Destiny 1 set out and making it new. And so there are some actual recurring melodies from Destiny 1 that people will hear in Destiny 2, but there's also new melodies that convey the same feel in a different way, or the same mood or the same vibe. We have a palette that fits each destination in the game, but then there's also a pre-existing palette for the combatant types. And so we've tried to support both of those things with the music in a way that doesn't exclude one or the other. So you may be on a location that has a specific feel, but then there's Hive in that location, and so the music has to say both in its own way.
In the sound design side, where we tend to have ambience that, like, hey, this is just straight up ambience, it's the sound of wind in the trees, it's birds or whatever, but other times we tend to use things that have a little bit more interesting sound to them, might be a little bit tonal, and we can actually put those in a certain bus that then we can say, hey, but when music's playing here, let's get that stuff out of the mix. And we can actually basically say, hey, give over this particular stuff, allow it to give it room to the music guys.
Allow me to reacquaint you.
We've created some really cool sound effects in this and cinematic mixes in this game so far. I can't wait for people to hear them.
I think it'll speak for itself, but we put a lot of passion and time and love into it, and I hope that comes across.
Thanks for watching this IGN First on Destiny 2. If you like Destiny, make sure to check out youtube.com/fireteamchat, our weekly Destiny show that airs every Friday at 5. And don't forget to come back and check out more IGN First coverage on Destiny 2.